here we are. We're opening bell right now. You're getting the first print. Look at that wide bid ask. We have her down below that market. We're just going to see how it opens up. What we did was we tried to get hit on an opening flash wick down where the market would have disappeared, and bam, you would get hit in millisecond. So far, that's not happening, but we'll watch that one. That's what that was about. Sometimes they work, and when they do, you are really doing well. Right now, I seem to be locked up in the system, so it looks like we have a huge opening bell on light volume, and that the opening bell futures market is found support going into the opening bell here, and this is where the topping pattern started, and it worked its way down 4 handles, and that's in the S&P 500. So if there are going to be reversals, they have to occur at lower highs, and they have to have 2 times greater red reversal bars. Okay. Now, as far as opening bell goes on the E-mini Nasdaq 100 futures, you clearly have that pre-opening market right now, opening bell support level. So in pre-market up here, they sold into it. Now that the trading day has started, these are we're going to see how equities follow the same pattern. We're looking at how the put side within 1 minute print on all of these, 600 put, 590s. We've got the 420 calls over here that are 60 cents up. This is at Apple, up 2.51. Intraday low is where it's printing. MMTs, you need to get your applications open and tell me right now what that is doing, because we would want to get net long at the right time. Granted, you're is that what?
18.
Okay. So where is Apple at?
Apple 95, 94,
okay.
99, 100.
All right, so it's
Google
getting
zero.
ready to try to break out. It's trying to break that 2-minute morning high, isn't it?
New high on Apple.
Okay, 747,000 shares in 2 minutes, not bad. People are all pent up for Apple's earnings tomorrow, by the way. Right, Rick Goley?
Yes, sir.
Ryan?
Goldman Sachs at 100.
Which one? Goldman, yeah. Don't forget that Goldman. Now watch this high up here. Do not do anything without my approval, because you want to watch on the opening bell where the reversal highs come into play. So far, right now, ISRG at 450.77. Still $25 off the high.
Google's at 100.
Google's at 100. Well, then that means you got a reversal going.
Okay. Custom half bar.
Google's
still
at 80,
64
70,
IR.
67.
Okay.
Google's in a small range, so it's within a $2 from top to bottom.
All right, that high at 450.77 has been clocked. I've got a high reversal on Priceline in play right now, but not much of one. It just, we'll see here where that 519, and see if they want to shoot that up there now. Kareem, the top end of that short is going to be about 522.90 on the top end. See if it can clear 520.50 on the upper shorter term end to get through there in the positive territory. So we have a 4-minute opening bell. Positions are being squared. You made a low of 584, so you're reversing and breaking out. Whoever called that Apple trade, that's what I was talking about. So you didn't drop down there, so cancel the pre-market orders and watch it.
I did cancel it, Mary, because it went the other way around.
Right.
The S&P 1300 put February alarms went off. They printed at 1620. We have second alarm at 1660.
Okay. Let me know if we hit that lower end. That S&P is right up toward the highs right now of 1316 on the actual comp of the S&P itself. So basically here we are, 87, not even $1 up. do me a favor. Now, we're going to go look at these put options. The markets are still, what equities are going to do is these things are going to roll up.
On Apple?
They're going to roll up and put their highs in. But once they all put their highs in the next 15 or 20 minutes, that's when these reversals are going to occur. And we have a 5-minute opening bell right from the tick right here. And you can see where the upside movements, you can see how we're making lower lows over here on Google. So I know that has to have a reversal. Watch the intraday highs here on Apple, Corrine, 88 highs.
Well, it hit the 19s up.
It hit 19s up?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is where you would start looking for weakness, Corrine. 100% A+ on that price discovery. And that is the trade right now. Do not come off of that one for the short side with that reversal bar. And you've had 88 highs in 6 minutes.
Trying to make new highs.
It's trying.
97.
Watch, stay with it. Let's see if it goes up to what? It would be 11 teenies.
Reversal on Goldman.
But watch the exhaustion in the price high. So it's making 101 highs now live.
Google bouncing.
That's that 6-minute top.
Google
101 highs. Then it's time to get in. You bounced $2 off the low there. And you're going to come up on that price line trade on that open of that 520.20. And that's why I said look at the 3 teenies up. So here you are. You're breaking higher. Remember, the high was 431 and some change. And it had that big reversal. And now it's trying to recover like we said it would. And so you're still well off that 52-week high of last week. Okay? And if we start to reverse $5 or $6 lower, that would mean there would be a little weakness, but we're not seeing that. We're seeing that we're going to put in and exhaust the opening bell highs and price volume, and that people wanted to take advantage of getting in that Apple trade going into tomorrow's earnings, because that's what you're seeing with the public in the first 7 minutes of the opening bell.
Got a 5-diamond bar at the top here on Apple.
A 5-diamond top bar? All right, hold on. Repeat that price on that next delta movement.
426.11.
426.11. Okay, thank you. Can you repeat that Goldman trade, please? Repeat the Goldman trade.
Double top. It's at 90%.
Okay, so you got a reversal.
One red bar, one green bar, same size.
Okay, that's milliseconds.
Apple's back to 88 off its high.
All right, so you got a reversal off of that 100% level up there is what I'm being told, right?
You got 3 diamonds in the wick, 4 diamonds in the wick now, pulling back.
SPX has a high rolling over.
Is that right? So you got that reversal that we were talking. Oh, yeah, look at the spike that they did over here, Mr. Mantalk, on these futures. Spiked it right up there. Look at that bar. And stocks put in highs in the first 9 minutes in your SMF qualifier, Mr. Mantalk. 9-minute print. Look at this. So there's your part of volatility on an opening bell, right? And
Apple
not only did
86, 87, 85.
Look at the spike you had here. So that's your, well, no, that's your public model. That's your opening bell, 9 minutes. 9 minutes of the opening bell.
Not even fake off now.
All right, so we got a Goldman reversal. So equities in their 9-minute, we have to get to the 20-minute level to find out where the high gets put in.
Your high's holding on Apple so far?
You can see the consolidation and how they're breaking them right up to resistance, though. This is pre-market over here. So you're up here at the high. Now, this has all happened in 9 minutes.
Google at 0.
3 minute, 6 minute. Uh-oh, Google at 0. Sounds like a rollover in action. Rick Gully called that 425.37 high right here, reversal on Apple here live right now. We are exactly 10 minutes into the opening bell. And we can see clearly how equities such as Google made a high and made another series of lows. We can see that what we had talked about in pre-market futures is bearing that fruit. And that right away on the price line trade, I said 520.50, it couldn't get through it, and it too is reversing their MMT. So your 518.58, that's not a very ascending pattern above the previous day's close, teeny-wise. And that means that the low is not a very, the low is very price shallow, is one way of saying it to you, MMT. So you got a $2, you got your $2 off the low, and you're starting a reversal, and you have 38,000 of that shares putting in that high below my 520.50 area that we talk about. Now, granted, MMT, that the call options are going to come down to that wholesale bid. And this is that 585 call. Here's that 580 that we were talking about stealing in pre-market on a weekly. Now, what we're going to do is
Apple's testing its highs. Got a 4 diamond
trying to
bar
break
again.
this out.
Apple came back up to the highs. I hear you. There it
Apple
is.
did
We
make a
made
new
another
high.
high. There you go. So you had your diminishing reversal, right, Rick Goley?
Right.
And then you had the breakout and made another high.
That's right. Got a lot of diamonds up there.
Yeah.
So you're going to find resistance somewhere.
Apple's making
What
new
about
highs.
here? You just made the low and another $2 bounce. That's volatility. We have 14 minutes into the opening bell here, and you can see how the futures are breaking back above their pre-market morning highs. We're here, and then the reversal. Now they have come up and they got consolidation on the open and broke higher. And they took out the pre-market highs and continued to break higher in that S&P 500 E-mini right here. And it all happened on the opening bell, and this is the opening bell in 14 minutes live here and now. We can clearly see the breakout here, and we have a new high on Apple. MMT said, look at that. Didn't I say, Karine, let's take a look at the 427.50 area on the... So you bought more calls on Friday, I hope, down there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you leveraged yourself for the gap and the run back toward the 52-week high.
I just sold them on the high because Apple will reverse and it will be cheaper. My calls were...
Here we are on the opening bell, Karine, and yes, the 430 call for 218, 1360 is a high, and the close. So you had the low of 1145 on the open, and a 1085 on the previous day's close, and a markup here. So what we would want to do is, because the day is very early, and we've already made 229 highs, we're going to have to let the highs get put in. It is 6:51 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 minute past the 20-minute rule. And what we would want to do is put limit orders right now for a pullback at around, let's say, 1160 on 2 contracts to start with, and then we will set some alarms at 11. We would take another contract at 1170 if we could get it, and that's based on a premium to the close, though. Now, so you understand that when you have a stock like Apple making 229 highs in 22 minutes on the opening bell, that eventually we're going to make a high, you know, that's where people are barreling in. And if I show you here on the Apple chart in our MMT platform, you're going to clearly see this opening gap, and I'm going to get the diamonds in here. You're going to see that opening gap right there. Netflix is down today. Halliburton is down off its earnings. There's other things that are going on that are down. This is the high. Now, granted, that everything gets exhausted. And in our platform, what we're going to do is wait to find out throughout the intraday process, do we come all the way back down? And even before, so on the opening bell is how much of a retracement. So we went up so many teenies, but then if we only pull back and hold in here and we start to break higher, well, the risk is that the contracts are not nearly as cheap as they were of 1085. So we'll have to be disciplined on the 430 call entry. And we'll take a look at where we can short the intraday high for, let's say, $1.30, and then buy off of support and sell back above resistances, making another set of higher highs as it's trying to do. And when it pulls back, it rips up. So once again, we have that trade management. So we're going to remain below the market because we're wholesale buyers. We're not retail. Another thing that we have going for us here is that we have discipline. So basically, when I look at the MMT, we're burning at 80. You hit right below 1 delta, ma'am, at 0.95, up $7.35. And there's your current reversal, Corrine, at 0.81 ratio. And the bottom end of that low was quarter delta. And so you went from a quarter delta almost just 0.5 basis points short of a delta. 15.7 teenies. It went right up there.
Mario.
And now look at the reversal. Yes, ma'am.
Quick note.
Okay.
EEM February puts. Your price level alarm went off.
Okay.
Okay, you have $32 put for February and $38 put for February. And the $32 put is you can get as cheap as you can. I mean, it's 4 pennies right now, shows the bid. And 38 put for February is less than 20 pennies.
All right. I'm going to go over there. We're talking about the EEM right here, emerging markets.
That's correct.
And explain to the other MMTs what emerging markets are. And we're going to have to put this in the brain. Yeah, we're going to have to start taking a look at those because right now, emerging markets have been in bull runs too, haven't they?
Yes, they are.
However, by having those alarms, and read those alarms to me again, those price levels, we're considerably wholesale right now to be looking at those, right?
Right. So the $32 put February.
Okay.
Okay. It's bid and ask 2 cents by 3 cents right now.
Okay.
$38 put is printing at 18 cents.
Okay.
Okay. And it's 17 by 18 bid and ask. The equity is at 41.87.
Right. EEM February right here. I'm also looking at this 32. Now, this one here is 20 by 23 cents. I'm just looking at this one. You see that $32 put?
Right. It's interesting. Mine says differently. Hold on a second. Let me open this up.
On the
here you go.
TQQ and
is that right?
Goldman
Here
still
we go. 666 contracts traded on 218, $39 put called emerging market. Here on the emerging markets, I want everyone to be clear. I've got 84,000 open interest at the $35 put. Yes, I do. But you can also see that that's a big contract there. I've got 61,000 open at the 39, not to mention that the $45 EEM in the money put is 53,000 deep in open interest at the 45. And let's take a look at where that EEM may or may not be trading, and we're looking at various put options. EEM, there it is, up 53 pennies on the day, called MSCI Emerging Market. Now, people have been short this. There's a bull case to this too, because of everything in Europe. They have jacked these all the way up to highs. So we're definitely always going to have to be on what's going on, and it's good to watch what happens with this, because they too are believing that they're going to have great stimuluses, and that's bringing that bull off that sideline. And we've got stocks breaking higher, so we're going to be staying involved with the EEM. Here we are. We're going to conclude that Apple made a series of higher highs in the first hourly trade, 279 highs. On the highs on Google's 42 highs and 80 lows, and it too has reversed off of the highs, just like we said in pre-market. This one had a reversal. You would be getting ready to get net long from the reversal, because it may challenge another series of higher highs. So there have been the first hourly pullbacks, which are very shallow in the marketplace. The price line trade, which was 525.05, sitting slightly below its intraday high, ran up and made its high peak, and is trying to put in an intraday hourly and 10-minute reversal of the opening bell. As far as that goes, ISRG, the one that got slammed and then has come back off of those bottoms of that 429 area to 457 on the high. They ran it straight right back up. That's people covering the short-term short positions going higher.
They're on the teeny.
Here we are with the Amazon update. That is a reversal, as we said, that if MMTs in pre-market were doing their job correctly and they were each on one individual equity, they would know that when they put their highs in that they're getting reversals, and that their broader, higher beta follows suit to the double bottom like we showed in pre-market in the futures. And at the double bottom in pre-market and futures, they had gone up and made higher highs throughout the day. Now, that's the Amazon trade. On this opening hourly bell, we'll go through the Google chart as well. It's very important that people understand that the Google move here had made its peak triple diamond reversal. Here's that teeny right below it. And it too is working its way down, and it too will work its way down to double bottoms. That's what that one looks like. We can also, once again, recap the Apple trade, because why? Apple's a very important component for one reason. It too had its intraday high reversals in the hourly and 15 or 12 minutes, that is, of the open. And you can see where it pulled back. You can see that gap was clear. As far as price line goes, well, let's take a good look at it. It too finally at a qualifier right here in an MMT qualified, and I said it could take a light position as long you don't cover into resistance. So for the people that want to learn, you don't cover into resistance. You let it go up. If it comes down and sits on top of the teeny line, well, then that would be a different story. Then you would buy to cover and get out. That's what the top right here in the MMT platform looks like. That reversal, it was over here. It ran right up to the double diamond. It dropped one teeny, two teenies, three teeny qualifier, hitting on 4. 5 teenies will be here at this diamond support level of this big volatility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teeny high here. And this is that price line. So watch this lower level of support all within an hour and 15 minutes of the opening bell, with live breakouts, live entries, live identities, live reversals, but they only pull back so much off the high. I'm concluding this opening bell today. Once again, there's that Google trade. It's trying to find support. This is going to be the diamond support areas on pullbacks. And once again, The other trades that are working in this moment are, we're going to watch and see that if we go into negative territory here on Google. Once again, it's been wonderful. It's all live. It's all here. It's all now. The price prints exhausted. They were identified. Mr. Bratti, like I said, you could go in light, kind of get used to this thing, look for the support levels, and then you can go long. And if you are short, then we would have to be covering slightly below these areas.